Hello, this is A Thursday on Ara. Today is Saturday, March 8th, 2025. It's currently 8:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, as you may know, I am the creator of I'm God Code Corporation, and that I became known for writing over 100,000 statements. And you've seen them in movies, you've seen them on TV, on television shows, talk shows, what have you. Anyway, I just thought that I should share some documents that I have, okay? And they are from the property called Glendale Ranch. And I will show you Glendale Ranch on the computer. Okay? Now, when I was a child, I think I was how old? I was 15, and I owned Glendale Ranch then by creating a trust, and I purchased it, and I also it was signed over to me, and I did some documents at a very young age. So anyway, I made some clauses with the documents after it was signed over to me where I was in the deed. And I did use an account that I owned when I was very young. But this is what the property is pretty much made up of for the most part. It has a vineyard, and it's quite in detail showing you everything that the property has. This is a house that it has. So I spent some time there as a child, once again to just make sure that my property ownership was in order. And eventually, it was sold to Christie's International. I don't know when it was sold, but I owned Christie's International, and I purchased them again after they were sold several years ago, a few years ago. And with this property, I just purchased this property again, Glendale Ranch, above the deed that I had with Christie's, since I owned Christie's. Let's see, around 2024, December 2024, I bought above the deed that Christie's International had. I purchased Christie's International and every property that they have. This is one of them. And once again, this is a property that I had clauses on when I was a child. So it's a pretty nice property. I think the bottom line on it was at least $100 million for a minimum asking price. And obviously it has a generating income. And people asked me earlier today, well, what happened to the trust? And I said, well, I bought above the deed. Because once again, it was sold to Christie's International, even after I had owned it, because I didn't maintain it, someone else did. And, I purchased Christie's International again and everything that they had for a second time within the past 3 years. So this is pretty much the property. Maybe you'd like to go on the website and look at it and kind of explore, just to become more familiar with the investment that I'm currently owning. So here are some documents that I have looked up recently. I purchased this property with the Hyatt Military of King Summit Con, the 12th of the U.S. Navy of Norfolk, using my own money. So if you would like to know what I used to buy this property when it was with Christie's International, you can do a subpoena at the Fairfax County Courthouse online. And you can pay the fees for documentation with the rural continuity, and then you will be able to see exactly all of the documents and whatever I used. Whatever I used to pay for the property. And the property is over 2,000 acres. It's a great property. And even people that have had, fantasies about owning the property, and, even African American people in my background, that were once childhood friends, had vampire fantasies about owning Glendale Ranch, and, being a white woman, and finding a white woman whose body has been abandoned so that they can own it in a body farm, and then becoming her, then owning Glendale Ranch and seducing men, but all in all never owning anything. And this is the proof. So that's why it's always important to have a documentation backup, just in case you want to use your property. You want to look it up and see if it can be an option or not. If it's not an option, then it's not. And there are politics that go along with having a property, no matter who you are. And, it's one of the reasons why space travel is available, because the earth is just so crowded. It's just so crowded. It's the same old stories. It's the same old people, the same old beefs. And no matter what you achieve, no matter how much money you have, or no matter what issues you conquer, no matter who you feed, it's the same old stuff. And, that's really sad that that's the case. And that's been proven to me with properties like 2000 Massachusetts Avenue, which was rural Ireland, where people think they can live for free and have, an Ethiopic conquer situation on a real estate property they don't own, or maybe Six Midsummer, Newport Coast, California, where, another African feels like, cannibalism will not only win the presidential election that President Biden had, but maybe it will kidnap Donald Trump. Being an African period that thinks they can cannibalize, or maybe just, thinking you can kill a white man in his house by being a cannibal, and not, just, having the wherewithal. You don't need documents to you. So if you want more information on those crimes that were committed against me and against other individuals that were doing business legally, you can do a subpoena at the Fairfax County Courthouse. And these documents are for 750 Con Valley Road, St. Helena, California, which is in Napa County in California. This is Glendale Ranch, and they're making wine on this ranch at a minimum. And I own it, and once again, I owned it in ChildHood and made clauses on it. And I chose not to stay for a reason, and I never forgot those reasons. And so I just thought that I would show these documents so that you understand that I am in ownership. Again, after Christie's International sold me Glendale Ranch, and I own Christie's International and 30,000 other properties that were sold to me as well that Christie's International owned. So I'm trying to get through all the documents before I run out of time, because my screen recorder is only 10 minutes. Okay, so that's the last one, and I hope you have a great day. This was for Glendale Ranch, and I own Glendale Ranch. If you are in doubt, you can subpoena at the Fairfax County Courthouse online. A subpoena will contact you. You can pay with the rural continuity to get documentation. Have a great one.